My name is Peter Davison. I played the Fifth Doctor, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls.
The tension is going to continue all the way to episode 508 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Our patrons get to hear some of the weirdest stuff.
Yes, they do.
Golly. Let's see if we remember how to ride this pony. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week with a virtual table and see who joined us this week.
This is Brittany Bengal.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hi!
Oh, God. Eight seconds or longer.
I had to look up a student's record today for their parent. The new Skyward, it'll tell you how many possible days, like how many school days there have been, and then like absences, tardies, that sort of thing. We've only been in school for 19 days. There's only been 19 school days, and it feels like it's been 5 million years.
It goes slow when you don't want it to, and it goes fast when you want,
I'm like, but Labor Day's this coming weekend. How has it only been 19 school days?
It seems like it should be longer. I know, that area.
No kidding. So, anyway, well, Holly and I are going crazy. Brittany got to go on vacation, so she's nice and rested.
I don't start until the 2nd, so I still got a few days left. But still, I'm getting.
But you're in it.
I'm getting I'm getting into the thick of it now. Yeah.
So Brittany went and visited Stephen King, kind of.
Yes, kind of. Yes.
Yes. Sort of.
I was joking with Chauncey. I was like, yeah, she stopped by Stephen King's house. Of course, it's gated, so it's not like you can get to Stephen King's house. But I mean, everybody knows where he lives,
right? And no corgi sighting.
I was joking with Chauncey. I'm like, so many people probably stop and take pictures, like Brittany did in front of that fence with the house there in the background. Maybe holding their favorite Stephen King book in said photo. And I'm sure he's used to it at this point. People stopping, taking pictures, selfies, that sort of thing. But it's like, if I was to come by, I'd be like, some of his stuff is pretty good. But I'd be like, is your dog home?
Can I see the dog?
I am here for Molly, aka the Thing of Evil.
Thing of Evil? I've got cheese tax to pay to her.
I mean, no offense, Mr. King. I mean, you write pretty good stuff, but I'm here for the dog.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, since we have been away for a little bit, there's a little bit of news. Not as bad as it could have been, but still. Starting with some 10 o'clock news. Terrence Stamp, who it kind of depends on your age, I think, on what you know him best from. Because he was in some Fellini films, Federico Fellini. So Nick can go, ooh, there goes Rachel doing her Italian accent again. But those of us of a certain fandom, not necessarily generation, but ilk, I guess, know him best as the Zod to Christopher Reeve Superman. So but he has died at the age of 87. So Although he's in a number of things. So he's in Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So yeah, it's kind of wild because it's like to see him not with the Zod hair and evil facial hair. He almost doesn't look like the same person. So, uh, but yeah, General Zod.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I mean, 87 again. Yeah, pretty good run. So, that's not too much to sneeze at. So, oh, he's in Star Wars too. Give yourself a pat on the back if you can spot him without cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So, so there's that. And then going over to convention update, specifically Salt Lake Fan X, because we have not caught up with them for a hot minute. They're still announcing names, and the guest list is getting so big, and there's still 30 days until their con. So, and they are getting some big names too.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to hide me in their suitcase or something.
I know. No kidding.
Yeah, listen to some of these names that have been announced since we last touched upon the guest list that is Salt Lake FanX. Danny Elfman. Like the Danny Elfman, like classic
composer,
film composer, part of Oingo Boingo, if you're a fan of 80s,
married to Jenna Elfman.
Yeah, like I saw that and I'm like, holy shit, Danny Elfman,
Yeah. He doesn't normally do conventions, does he?
I mean, he's well, not really. I don't think, but I guess why not? Everybody else is doing it, I guess. Big time. He is the John Williams to Tim Burton's Steven Spielberg. And and George Lucas.
Yeah. That's a very good comparison there, Rachel.
Yeah. So go pick a Tim Burton movie, and odds are it's going to say
Danny Elfman.
By Danny Elfman. So,
Burton has his go-to, and it's Mr. Elfman.
Yeah. So, David Tennant's Doctor has about completed the set at this point because they've added Catherine Tate. So we just need Alex Kingston, and we've got
the trifecta, pretty much.
Well, it'd be quadfecta because we got Billy and Freema already.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, if you're David Tennant era,
keep how many people are attending already for Fan X for Stars.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, it's like if they get one of like a decent sized fandom, they're like, well, let's see how many more we can get. So it's like David Tennant's Doctor,
like Pringles. Can't just stop at one.
I know.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. So, how's this for? Again, Oscar winner, Ke Huy Quan. Short round himself. Data from the Goonies. I mean, hello. Another Academy Award winner and hottest Aunt May ever in the history of Spider-Man, Marissa Tomei.
And best automotive person you could have for your defense.
Hell yeah. Well, the best courtroom.
Yes.
Scenes in all of cinema. Have you never seen My Cousin Vinny?
You need to watch it, especially that scene.
I mean, that scene is amazing, but the entire movie is just really good.
Yes.
So
I'm standing here, my clock is going like this.
So, but yeah, her testimony in my comedy, one of the greatest. Yeah.
Yes.
If you can spout that off, more power to you. Especially with the accent.
Yes.
So
whenever that comes across my Facebook feed, I always have to. We're sharing that again.
Yeah. Every now and then, I'll just look up that scene just because it's so good. It actually, a lot of the testimony once Vinny, played by Joe Pesci, so fantastic, of course. Once he finds his footing, is fantastic. Not just her testimony, but the way he gets the guy with the grits.
And then the glasses, and only.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. It's oh my goodness. Anyway, so and of course, she's Aunt May to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So hottest Aunt May ever. The woman does not age. Whatever pool it is that people like Paul Rudd drink from, so does she.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we get to venture over to Middle Earth with Miranda Otto, with Eowyn. I am no man, which is pretty awesome. So, considering they also have David Wenham is also a guest. So, and those two kind of end up together. Oh, and then an overlap. If Ki Kwan and Miranda Otto were the two sides of a Venn diagram, this guy would be in the middle. It's John Rhys Davies.
Yep, exactly.
So not that Short Round and Sala ever met, but they have Indiana Jones in common.
Yes.
Both friends with Indy. And of course,
my
John Rhys
headcanon
Davies.
is they met off screen.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, oh my God, that's just like, oh my goodness. Gravy, craziness, and they've still got a month to go. So I mean that's just like some of the most noticeable ones that they've like announced where I'm like, I know who that is. So like I someone invite me and give me lots of money because I would spend so much money.
Right?
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean this lineup is just like, oh.
I mean, just Doctor Who fans are gonna like go broke. Not counting all the other fandoms. So and again the Venn diagrams. Yeah. It's like I mean, you're in like five things I love, and I
I mean, the degrees of Kevin Bacon exponentially get smaller with all these cast people that are overlapping for fandoms.
Exactly. So, oi. So,
yeah.
And then speaking of cavalcade of stars, I guess we got our trailer for season 5 of Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
More Academy Award winners like Renee Zellweger and Christoph Waltz, and of course Meryl Streep.
Yep. Well, we got to see if that romance continues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in show, I would hope. I would hope that marriage is still going strong. But yes, for those that maybe don't care about celebrity gossip and who's dating who, yes, Meryl and Martin apparently are a thing.
Yes.
So
it's cute to see these supposed, I for it.
I know. I mean, when you reach a certain age, sometimes if you find yourself single, you kind of wonder, like, am I just going to be single now for the rest of my life? So I think it's adorable.
Yes.
That people of, well, it might be considered older, are still finding romance. So,
Yes.
kind of like Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
Right. That was not
So.
on my 2025 bingo card, but hey, happy for it.
I mean, I wasn't expecting Pamela Anderson to get a career resurgence either. So
exactly.
Yeah, but like she's owning it. Like she is.
Yep.
She is back, and you know, being back in the limelight, but she is doing it her way.
Yep, on her terms, and that's what it should be.
So, yay! But yes, Only Murders. I'm so excited for that to come back. This time, our murderinos are facing the mob.
Oh boy, this will be interesting.
I mean, they're in New York. It was bound to happen eventually.
True.
No, not to stereotype, but just saying. There are certain expectations that come with
that New York, Jersey area. You kind of
maybe.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Especially if they're with more the Italian persuasion. So, I know Nick would be like, nope, I'm not, I'm not offended at all. As I like to say, stereotypes, they come from somewhere. So,
yep.
That would be a nice little belated birthday present, birthday week.
Exactly.
Yay.
Yes. And then I forgot to add the link, but to it, but Disney, of course, the House of Mouse, specifically Disney Plus. I'm gonna be bouncing between Disney Plus and Netflix apparently over my Thanksgiving break.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that big
because we are
yes.
getting new Beatles content.
They are updating the anthology,
and we're getting a series.
Yep, I think it's the same series
on Disney
that
Plus.
aired, but they're adding to it. From what I
I've
heard.
So you can order the box set with anthology 1 through 3, and then there's going to be anthology 4. And this is a 25th anniversary, I guess, of the anthology as a whole.
Yep.
So, but yeah,
that's about right.
Yep. We are getting a series that is going to be it's going to be a 9-part documentary series.
Ooh, yay.
Previously unreleased footage. First 3 episodes drop November 26th.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy between that and the Down Under. We're gonna be going over the pond.
Yeah,
down under.
Yeah, we're gonna be across the pond and upside down and inside out, and going to Oz and oh my goodness, shopping after Thanksgiving. Never heard of it. All of my digestion of leftovers is going to involve sitting in front of a screen of some sort.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was like, because the Beatles were like teasing, and I was like, okay, what's this? And then they were like, new anthology, and they're like 9-part documentary. I'm like, sold.
Yep. because
like, it's going to be cold and gross by then. I'll stay inside where it's warm and dry and watch.
Because I can remember when the first stuff
footage.
dropped on cable when the first anthology came out back then in '98. That was appointment TV.
Yeah.
So this is going to be appointment TV, but on a different screen. And the updated Free as a Bird sounds pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So while if for those that aren't familiar with the anthology series, it is a lot of takes, and like audio commentary from the guys, mixes that didn't go into final album or single releases. So it's a lot of the stuff that was, that they were like, that happened while recording, but never made the final cut for whatever reason. So there's not likely, as far as songs, music, you're not likely to hear anything new that we haven't heard before, because as far as what they told us when they released how long, good lord, that was last year, wasn't it? Was it last year we got that last song?
Yeah, Here and Now. Or then
Here
and Now.
It was last.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, but they said that was the last.
Or 2 years ago. One of
last. I think it was just last year, but they said then that was the last, like, song in the vault that would, like, complete song that would ever get released. So we're not likely to get like a full-on, like, full produced track ever again. But even the bits and pieces are fun. So because it gets you get to hear, like, their experimentation and how their thought process and everything. So
it came out in 2023.
Okay, good lord, it really was that long ago.
It doesn't seem like it.
I know.
It seems just like yes, because I'm just like, wait a minute, and thinking that no, that came out when I was my first year of being in the actual classroom.
I was like, oh my goodness, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I feel really old. Anyway, as a Beatles fan, and anyone else is a Beatles fan, anytime we can get new stuff that we had never seen before, I am down for it. So
yep. And I wonder how much more stuff we'll get from, with footage with George before he passed, and
who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
Who knows? I mean,
who knows what they got in the vaults that they're going to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, Ringo was the photographer, so he was the one that captured a lot, at least as far as still photos are concerned. So, which is why he's released a number of things that are just pictures related. So, yeah. I'm going to be really thankful come Thanksgiving. I'm going to be thankful for Stranger Things and the Beatles and the second part of Wicked. So, all right. Well, in the feeds, little feed update, this month, August Gold Standard Patreon episode is now available for patron supporters. And it was just Nick and I, because unfortunately Zan had the special at the diner, so she was indisposed for the moment. But Nick and I discussed some of my absolute favorite movies of all time, and my favorite Mel Brooks movie, Spaceballs. So, which was fun, because, like, we have covered Spaceballs, as I was saying, on Gold Standard. I was like, I don't remember the episode number, but just look at the titles. It's called Spaceballs, the podcast episode. So, really, really, really identifiable just by the title. but we did that way before we knew we were getting a sequel. So it was fun to talk about it now. I talk about some of these characters knowing that some of these people are coming back as these characters. So it made for a fresh perspective in reviewing. Plus, it's Mel Brooks. It's space. I mean, it's just listen to it. Become a Patreon supporter. Go listen to it. Or if you can't be a Patreon supporter, you can listen to our episode. It's a little older. Like I said, before we knew there was going to be a sequel. But my thoughts are still the same. I freaking love this movie. A hell of a lot.
And very quotable.
Very much so. Very much so. So I may have taken a picture of my coaster that I keep on my table at work and sent it to Nick talking about merchandising, and it says Spaceballs, the coaster. I also have Spaceballs, the mask that I bought during the pandemic. So
cool.
I got rid of most of my masks, but I still have that one.
Our choice. Hang on to that one.
Yep. Spaceballs, face mask. So that is there, and then in our main feed, we talk about the so gruesome yet and mind just pull your brain out, throw it in a blender, put it on high, and then pour it back into your brain bending flick that is Seven. With Brad Pitt and a certain bad guy whose actor name shall not be mentioned, because as bad as he is in the movie, that's fake. But in real life, he's also a monster. So, and Morgan Freeman, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Can't count out Morgan Freeman as well. So, movies may win Oscars, but you're the real gold. Support Gold Standard, the Oscars podcast, on Patreon and help us continue our journey through every Best Picture winner. Join the club at patreon.com/goldstandardoscars. So there is that for your feeds. So we need to move on to feedback because, of course, anytime we're not around, or even if we don't miss a week, Shalane likes to send us maybe not a full-on novel, maybe more of a novella, I think, of feedback. A lot of it is lists, which thank you, Shalane, for the listicles. We're not necessarily going to read everything you put on the list, but we do appreciate the thought. So, Shalane says, first of all, I went back and listened to the episode where you read my feedback about Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers. You thought the MCU post Endgame timeline was something I created, but no, I didn't make it. I don't remember anybody saying that, but I've had surgery and drugs since then. So so don't quote me on that. Just because I don't remember it doesn't mean that, I don't even know who may have said something. So, but
I'm
yes,
not sure myself.
I think we were all just a little excited about the movie itself, and the reveal of the Fantastic Four. No, maybe credit team. But yeah, no, I know you did not make the timeline, Shalay. I'm sure, if you wanted to, you could, but I mean, other people on the internet have already done it. Why reinvent the wheel? So yeah, you can easily find it on Wikipedia. So now that we're in Phase 6, here's something I forgot to mention last time. Which Phase 5 MCU movies do you think were box office successes and which were just popcorn flicks? And do you think Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars will be big box office hits when they're released? Phase 5. So that is going to be... I'll make sure I get it right here. Let's see. Phase 5 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Deadpool, Wolverine, Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. That is Phase 5. So, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine obviously was a big box office success. People had been waiting for that for a long time. Plus, we were just waiting for Deadpool to officially come into the MCU. So I would think box office wise, I imagine that if you're talking about that as the success. Plus, I think a comedy, but money isn't always the good measurement of success necessarily. I think, especially with these types of movies, you also have to go by fan reaction. And I know that Deadpool and Wolverine were just really, it was really well received by fans as well. So, yeah, I would say as far as success, however you want to define that, in my personal opinion, my definition, I would say Deadpool and Wolverine is probably the biggest success. I would say but also Deadpool and Wolverine was just, it's a fun movie. I would say probably either Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania or the Marvels would be my popcorn flick.
Yeah.
As much as fun as Guardian of the Galaxy is, Volume 3 gets pretty serious.
Yeah.
With
I'd have to,
Rocket's backstory, so
yeah, I probably have to say Marvels is mine. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean the three of those together was just, it was pretty awesome. You know, to have those three very distinct personalities come together. It was just, you know, I was kind of here for it. So, you know, and I know that one wasn't necessarily as well received, you know, because whatever stupid reasons, I'm sure. But I really enjoyed the Marvels. So, I mean,
all the Flurkins.
I mean,
come on.
I mean, we got a literal ship full of Flurkins. It's not just Goose; it is a whole mess of Flurkins. I mean, that is hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, like that is the best like MacGuffin I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, we've painted ourselves into this corner. How do we get out of it? Let's have the Flurkins just temporarily swallow everybody and then spit them back out later. Oh my goodness. Oh, so
something
funny.
that we did not have in our bingo card back then.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So, yeah. So, I mean, Thunderbolts was really fun too, but it gets very serious as well. So, yeah, I think the nice thing about the Marvels, while it was important as far as the MCU is concerned, because hello, where did Rambo end up? In a universe with some very familiar mutants. So, so as far as the effects for the greater universe, it's important, but in general, it didn't really take itself too seriously. It was just, I thought it was fun. I still think it was fun. So, so yeah, that's where I am, at least as far as Phase 5. So, I think Doomsday, is going to do very well. And I think if they pull off Doomsday, the way I hope that they do, you know, I am a little biased, but, if Doomsday is as good as I hope and expect it to be, then I think Secret Wars should also do very well. So, because I guess it kind of depends on whether we're looking at an Infinity War Endgame type of thing, where, where Doomsday ends isn't the end. You have to come back the following year to get the rest of it, which is, my brain trying to figure out how they might possibly use the source material for both Secret Wars and the various plots over the years of Doctor Doom, how this may play out, especially considering who we know is going to be in Doomsday, as far as not just Earth 6, Universe 616. So I think we're looking at an Infinity War Endgame thing where you're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to come back. And it's the Russo brothers. It's in good hands. It's in really good hands. I mean, they did a fantastic, somewhat pun intended, fantastic job with all the other MCU movies, including Infinity War and Endgame. So, I all things considering, I think that Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to do really, really well, and are going to be really, really good movies. Just because of who is in charge. So as far as directing, so like, you're in good hands with Allstate. You're in good hands with the Russos. Yeah. Like a good neighbor, Russos are there. Can you tell? I don't watch a lot of television, but I do watch a lot on YouTube, and I get a lot of car insurance commercials. Oh. Leave you, Emu. And Doug. So, yep. There's a random pair somebody should get at a convention.
Yes.
Emu and Doug. So, okay, back to Shalane's feedback. I really love Fantastic Four first step. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. The Human Torch totally stole the show. I really like Herbie the robot. Not Kirby. I mixed that up when talking to Rachel, because the movie they honored Jack Kirby plus Vanessa Kirby played Susan Storm. Anyway, Thunderbolts, aka New Adventures of Fantastic Four first steps are clearly leading into Doomsday. Let's see what Spider-Man Brand New Day does next year. Yep. Yeah, we got Fantastic Four. We don't have any other MCU films this year. That was fantastic. That was our only one. We got Spider-Man and Doomsday next year. And right now, only Secret Wars for 2027. So, then she lists off a bunch of Fantastic Four, or because Pedro Pascal is in Fantastic Four, she lists off a bunch of Star Wars actors who are also in the MCU, which is funny when you think about it, considering Samuel L. Jackson was in Star Wars, yet as far as the MCU is concerned, Star Wars exists because Peter Parker has referenced Star Wars. So,
the one certain fight scene in Civil War comes.
Yes, you guys see that really old movie Star Wars when they're on the ice planet. So,
Tony, how old is this kid?
Presuming that
I have a chance to check him.
Yeah, I didn't carbon date him. God, I love Tony. So, assuming that Star Wars and their universe is the same as our Star Wars, and if they have the OG trilogy, then they probably also have the prequels, which means Mace Windu exists inside the MC. So,
Lost siblings, evil twins.
Yeah. And I mean, Peter has met Nick Fury.
Yes, he has.
A version of Nick Fury, as we find out, it's actually a scroll, but still,
who he has ghosted and hung up on.
Exactly,
dude.
Exactly. So that is funny. But yes, there's a lot of Star Wars MCU crossover as far as characters are concerned. Same thing with some Stranger Things. Now we have David Harbour and Joseph Quinn. So of course also Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit are in the MCU as well. There's always the meme that shows all the people that played elves or elf-like characters in the MCU, and it's like, this is what happens when elves in Middle Earth go bad. They become MCU villains. So sometimes. I mean, Kate Blanchett did, so, and Hugo Weaving. So Carl Urban, not so much. He's just weird. But still. Of course, also Doctor Who alumni. Although she does mention she doesn't know much about Doctor Who, just some of the actors. That's fine. Also Game of Thrones. And Parks and Rec. Actually, there's a lot of people that have been on Parks and Rec that are also part of the MCU. So, says Rachel, I think on Gold Standard, you'll probably end up talking mostly about James Cameron, Ridley Scott, Christopher Nolan films. I mean, they are pretty prolific actors. I hope we don't do a whole lot more James Cameron, to be honest with you, because we've done Terminator 1 and 2 and Titanic and The Abyss. That's really enough on as far as I'm concerned. We do not need to do any of the avatars on Gold Standard. I'm just putting that out to the universe right now. Please and thank you. Ridley Scott, we got a couple. Christopher Nolan, we got a couple. So obviously Spielberg, we've done a number of times. We've only done one Hitchcock so far, but we do have another one that is on the schedule. So it was my pick. So yeah, we've covered quite a bit. So in fact, she mentions Spielberg. So again, very, very prolific. And she says, I'm really excited for Zootopia 2. She mentions Kihei Kwan coming to Fan X. So she says, I'm sure there'll be lots of Indiana Jones and short run cosplay. I would imagine so. So now we know why Stan Lee gave so many characters alliterative names, first and last name starting the same letter. It reminds me of that Big Bang Theory episode when Stan Lee guest starred and Raj wanted to ask him about it. Mentioning Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, that sort of thing. She says, never mess with the Stan Lee character. That's a mistake Raj made. Oh, Stan's cameo on the Big Bang Theory. At least Raj, if I remember correctly, did not have a restraining order put against him on Stan Lee's behalf, unlike Sheldon. Was pretty much ordered to stay like at least 100 feet away from Stanley. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, so thank you, Shalane, for your feedback. Looking for a great sci-fi read? Support indie authors like J.M. Anjewardin, whose books bring action, adventure, and rich storytelling to life. Check them out now on Amazon. So, moving on to this week's topic, which after everything the madness that has been life recently, we thought we'd do things a little necessarily easier because I do make it a little hard. I do make you guys guess.
Mhm.
I did give you clues though. But we are gonna go back to drawing some celebrity names out of a proverbial metaphorical hat. I've been watching a lot of clips from Whose Line Is It Anyway, so I've taken some like, explaining games like Drew Carey. So for those that are new, how this is going to work, back in the day, it used to be strips of paper actually in a hat. That got as the strips of paper multiplied, and they needed to be stored someplace to keep track of them all. They ended up becoming strips of paper in a hardy, like plastic zip container that I have, kind of like a pencil pouch, like you'd have in school. And then eventually that became a bit of a nuisance because the papers like to stick together, and I ended up drawing like multiples and then having to like panic and figure out which one is the one I'm actually supposed to, be like, this is the one. Plus the list just keeps growing, and it's like I have to remember that we've added names to the list, the ongoing document that we have, and making more paper slips, and I'm bad at that. So what we've done is now we're using wheelofnames.com, hashtag not a sponsor. But
to make things a little easier.
Yes, you can put everything in. Right now they're in alphabetical order, but then I can just hit shuffle, and so it randomizes them even more. And then I can hit click to spin, and it does the thing, so then I don't have to worry about it. So
and
that
then you
is
can
what
remove it when it's done.
exactly, so that I can check them off of the list that we have in our living document, and then also I can release it because actually I came, using the same website. It still had the list from last time, so
Oh wow, nice.
yeah. So I didn't have to really do anything, except I
Not a whole
just
lot of housekeeping.
I reshuffled it. So but yeah, once it lands on a name, I will then proceed to give clues about who that celebrity is, and Holly and Brittany try to Google really uh as fast as possible to try to figure out who it is I'm talking about, and then we talk about said person. So it's just a silly, goofy thing that we started doing as a fallback episode when we needed something to do, and it's evolved over the years. So, but with that, I think we shall give the thing a spin. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't necessarily hear the sound effects, but it is what it is. But anyway, because it actually does make a sound. It's not quite as it's definitely more artificial than the Wheel of Fortune. That is nice. Has that classic wheel spinning, clapper flag thing that bounces against the pegs. I'm sure these pieces on the Wheel of Fortune probably have actual proper names. I don't know what they are. But anyway, we don't have that because this is virtual, so the sound effects are also virtual. But that's okay. You can just imagine the sound of the wheel from Wheel of Fortune, or the wheel from Price is Right. That works too.
Yep.
That actually, the sound for this is kind of closer to that. It's a bit more beepy than clacky. So, but anyway,
easier for me to do.
Yeah, that is true. So we have our first celebrity.
Okay.
This is a good one. So, this gentleman, is from across the pond, or at the very least, he's not American. He is a older gentleman. It's
Okay.
actually his birthday is the day before my mom's.
Okay.
On as far as month and date is concerned, he's significantly older than my mother. So, he's actually older than my dad, which is saying something, because my dad is really old. And we know him not by his actual legally given to him when he was born name. The name we know him best as is a stage name.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got 2 Academy Awards, a BAFTA, 3 Golden Globes, a Screen Actors Guild Award. He is one of only 5 male actors to be nominated for an Academy Award for acting in 5 different decades, and has been knighted by Her Majesty, Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II.
Okay.
So, and of course, being not an American, he has cut his teeth on very much things like Dickens and Shakespeare, among other things. So, let's see here. Let's see. His father was a cook, and his mother was a house cleaner. So very blue collar, I think. Oh no, his mom was a cook. She was a cleaning lady and a cook. Oh, his dad was a fish market porter. He was a fishmonger. So that's cool. So he had a younger brother. Unfortunately, his brother passed away in 2013. Although his brother was also an actor. When he was a kid, he had a pet horse named Lottie.
Oh, interesting.
That's cute.
Uh-huh.
Da, 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 da. I mean, not sure I can really give a whole lot else.
Okay, well, I did a Google search. Did the mom a cook and father a fishmonger? Would it happen to be Michael Caine?
Yes, it was.
Ooh.
So, actually, that would be Sir Michael
Caine.
Caine. Yes, born Maurice Joseph Micklewhite. Yes, which, if I believe memory serves me correctly, I still got 4 months minus a day before I watch it again. So, and I do drink while I watch this. So, memory is a little fuzzy. But I do believe that the name Micklewhite appears as the name of one of the businesses in the town in Muppet Christmas Carol.
I think you might be right.
As a nod to Sir Caine's legal
Sounds like
given
something
name.
they would do.
So, I mean, it sounds like the kind of name you should have in a Dickens story anyway, as like the name of somebody who owns a business and runs a business in this town. So, London or whatever it is. If it's Dickens, Micklewhite just sounds like a name that should come out of a Dickens novel. So, to be honest with you, so yeah, but he is born in London, but and also grew up in London. But during the Second World War, they were evacuated to Norfolk, which is about 100 miles outside of London. But that's where he had his horse, Lottie. So And after the war, they ended up getting rehoused, and lived in a prefabricated house just because so many buildings and houses had been destroyed during the war because of things like the Blitz. So, but he wrote in his autobiography, the prefabs, as they were known, were intended to be temporary homes while London was reconstructed, but we ended up living there for 18 years, and for us, after a cramped flat with an outside toilet, it was luxury. Oh, that's funny. So, he got his, he passed his 11s exams, and eventually left school at the age of 16. And then in 52, he was called up to do his national service. So he served in the British Army between 1952 and 1954. First at British Army of the Rhine headquarters in West Germany, and then active service in the Korean War. So he actually saw combat, which is probably scary. So, but then he, after finishing his service, actually before his service, his film debut was an uncredited walk-on role in the film Morning Departure in 1950. Then of course, he went to work in stage performance. He became an assistant stage manager for the Horsham-based Westminster Repertory Company. That is where he adopted the stage name Michael Scott, not to be confused with Michael Scott from The Office. Michael Caine came first. This Michael Scott came first. And in July 1953, he was cast as the drunkard Hindley in the company's production of Wuthering Heights. Because again, that is another piece of literature that you cut your teeth on. Then he ended up in 54, moving to London, and his agent told him that there was already a Michael Scott performing as an actor in London, and he had to come up with a new name. And apparently he got the name Caine from the Caine Mutiny, which was being shown at a cinema in Leicester Square that he happened to see the marquee for while he was speaking to his agent from a telephone booth. What's funny is the Caine Mutiny is an American movie. It's an American military movie. So, with Humphrey Bogart, among others. So, he decided on Michael Caine. He later on he joked that if had a tree been partially blocking his view, slightly to the left, he might have been called Michael Mutiny. That he even later he joked that if he had looked the other way, he might have ended up as Michael 101 Dalmatians. Oh, well, this is interesting. Of course, even in the late 50s, early 60s, London, not a cheap city. So it helps if you can find flatmates to help share the load as far as rent is concerned. He moved in and lived with Terence Stamp.
Oh, wow.
I know. Talk about podcast gods having fun. And hung out with him and Peter O'Toole. Ended up And Kane actually ended up becoming O'Toole's understudy at the West End for The Long and the Short and the Tall. And actually, Kane took over the role for O'Toole when O'Toole left to go make Lawrence of Arabia. Of course, small TV roles as well, little bit pots here and there. And then his kind of big well, I mean, I don't think this movie is necessarily remembered as fondly as his, I think, bigger breakout performance, but if anybody bothered to see the 1964 British epic historical drama Zulu, which is about the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879, there you go. But I guess it did well enough. So but the 60s is where he took off. So of course he plays Alfie in 1966. And he made his first Hollywood film in 1966, starring opposite of Shirley MacLaine in Gambit. Like the oldest Michael Caine movie that I have seen in his CV is The Italian Job from 1969. So, which, if you've never seen the OG Italian Job and you've only seen the remake from, what was that, like the early aughts, I think, is when,
yeah.
So, 2003, with Mark Wahlberg in the Michael Caine role, which, so, although there's a Bollywood remake as well, called Players.
Interesting.
Which is actually a remake of the 2003 movie. So, anyway. But yeah, don't bother with the 2003 version. Watch the 69 version.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it's a good, and it's funny too, because like these guys are pretty talented, sophisticated criminals, but there's just enough like Murphy's Law that occurs that they find themselves not necessarily walking away with the goods at the end like you would expect them to. In fact, the ending is left literally on a cliffhanger. You don't know how it actually ends because they kind of leave it up to you on how it may play out after the screen goes black. But yeah, I really like this version of it. So it's always fun. And of course, much more war type movies because that's what you do. Yeah, in some of these things. So of course, I think we mentioned this briefly. Because why did we talk about this? I forget why we talked about this. It was in reference to something else. The Man Who Would Be King. We discussed this for some reason, and now I don't remember why.
It wasn't the retrospective when Prince.
No, because it's because it's adapted from Kipling.
Okay.
And for some reason we were talking about something Kipling related. I don't remember.
Okay. Could we talk about Sean Connery?
Maybe that was it, because Sean Connery's
could
in
be.
it. Maybe that's what it is. So
yeah,
that's possibly it too. So anyway, like I said, I've had surgery and stuff since then. So that I've got the memory of a goldfish. Finding Dory, that is my biography.
Well, and we're triple digits in, so
that too.
Right?
That too.
I remember that.
500 episodes. I'm sorry, I don't remember everything that we've ever talked about.
Things start to blur.
Yeah, especially considering I am in every single one of them.
Right.
So
well, and then you're on another podcast.
Yes, where we also talk about cinema. So
exactly,
the whole Kipling thing also may have been some discussion. Actually, I had a Gold Standard instead. So
there is that too.
That is a possibility. The whole Kipling thing may cover a Gold Standard. So,
give yourself a bit of a break there, Rachel.
Yes, this is why I don't do things off the cuff, because I've got enough brain cells for my name to remember my name, some close family members, where I live, where I work, so I can get to and from every day, how to produce this podcast, and some basic math, and a whole bunch of song lyrics that are probably taking up valuable space. So just saying. So oh my. Yeah, so like I said, in the 60s, the early 60s, his star took off both across the pond and over here, and has kind of been at it ever since, to be honest with you. So I mean, his CV is so long. It's like, even if I did like want to watch more, it would be quite a bit. It would take a while to watch, even just the stuff that like was award winning and well received. Just because he has been so prolific. So I mean, he won his first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in Hannah and Her Sisters, which unfortunately is a Woody Allen movie. And the less we talk about Woody Allen, the better. And he earned a nomination, a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor Motion Picture Musical Comedy for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, but lost to Tom Hanks for Big. So he did 1981, he did, or the early 80s, going into the 80s, he did Dress to Kill, which is a weird psychological thriller film that, once you get to the plot twist, I'm sure at the time, and even at the time, people were like, "Oh my god, I never saw that coming." Maybe, but I would say it probably has not aged well, just because sometimes in like slasher horror psychological type movies, instead of somebody just being like an absolute psychopath or something, they have to like throw in a little something extra that unfortunately in the process does not paint certain parts of the population in the best light, to put it mildly. So but I guess if you just want to watch an early 80s pseudo slasher movie, that's not like, Friday the 13th or Halloween, there you go, I guess. So, um, da 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 da. Of course, not everything's been a big hit, for even the best of actors can be in movies that don't necessarily do that well, like being in the fourth and final Jaws movie, Jaws: The Revenge.
And then he was in a lesser known one, which I believe we covered on Gold Standard, Secondhand Lions, which is if you haven't seen it, it is worth the looking up and tracking it down.
Yeah. That's we're not quite there yet, though.
So, I know. I'm jumping.
Jaws: Revenge was 87. So
right, this one was.
Yeah, he said he said after the fact at some point about Jaws: of Revenge. I've never seen the film, but by all accounts, it was terrible. However, I've seen the house that it built, and it is terrific. Oh my goodness! And of course, in 1992, he plays Ebenezer Scrooge in Muppet Christmas Carol, one of my absolute favorites. It's the one half of my Christmas Eve double feature that I partake in every year. We'll sit down. It used to be I watched both of these by myself. The last few years, Chauncey and his parents have been wanting to watch Muppet Christmas Carol as well. So we'll watch that together as a family. Nice. And then they'll go and watch whatever movie that, pick a Christmas movie. They aren't really that picky, whether it's, Home Alone or something more obscure, Ernest Saves Christmas, whatever. And then I'll go off to my own little corner with my adult beverages, usually a bottle of wine that usually is brand new when I start the evening and empty by the time it's over, along with a large plethora of snacks and other foods that have accumulated in the house up until Christmas Eve. And while they are off laughing at whoever, Ernest or whatever, I'm in my own little corner watching Hans Gruber fall off a Nakatomi Plaza Tower. So
how did I know that was going to be?
Yes.
I'm usually right
that's
there.
That's how I celebrate Christmas Eve every year. Is my double feature: Muppet Christmas Carol and Die Hard. So, but yeah, we have waxed poetic about Muppet Christmas Carol both on here and on Gold Standard. That's one of those movies that we've covered on both because it's amazing. It is absolutely one of Michael Caine's best performances because he plays Scrooge straight, like the character is meant to be portrayed, and he treats the Muppets as if they are not Muppets.
Yep, he does a fantastic job.
He is one of, there's only a handful of humans that are speaking roles in the movie. There's a lot of humans that are extras along with Muppets that are extras, but there's only a handful of humans that actually have names that are speaking roles. Everyone else is Muppets, but he treats them if they were fellow like Shakespearean trained actors. And it makes it so good because that's when you are a human working with a Muppets, you either need to play it straight. It depends on the character you're playing. That's the thing. Because Scrooge has to be, because he's such a curmudgeon and so angry and paranoid and sad and, just so unpleasant that you have to play that straight. Otherwise it becomes too characterish. And and that doesn't work when you're working alongside Muppets. When you got Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge yelling at Kermit the Frog, playing Bob Cratchit, and he's yelling at him like it's not a frog, you totally can believe it. So it's like when you're playing against the Muppets, you either play it straight or you act like you are one of the Muppets, which is how Tim Curry did it in Muppet Treasure Island. Yep. So like you're either a straight serious actor or you are a Muppet yourself. And you were just one of the crew. So but yeah, like I said, we wax poetic about that so much, on multiple podcasts, so you can go listen to those. So oh my goodness. This is another, it's a minor role, but I love him in this. He as the pageant coach in Miss Congeniality.
That's
He
right.
he helps transform Sandra Bullock's, one of the, trying to be one of the guys FBI agent into a beauty pageant contestant. Oh, and it's like it's not an easy transformation. He has got his hands full, and I love it. He is hilarious in this. Um, so, oh my goodness. Do, do, do. Da, 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 da. Yeah, he plays Austin Powers' father.
Oh, that's right.
Member.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's 2002, 2003. He did do Secondhand Lions, which we've done on Gold Standard, so you can go listen to that if you wish to. Of course, he plays Alfred in alongside Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne in Christopher Nolan's Batman films, the Dark Knight trilogy. So he is in The Prestige, which is another Nolan film with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, among other people, like a certain David Bowie playing a certain genius that got a lot of credit stolen from him. Go see that if you've not. So The Prestige is really good too. Yeah, it's really good. So of course he's in Inception, which we've done on Gold Standard, where he mentors Leonardo DiCaprio's character and his crew. So he's a voice in Cars 2. He's also in Romeo and Juliet. He is in the Now You See Me franchise. He appears in 1 and 2. Hopefully he makes actually no, he probably doesn't make an appearance in 3 because he's retired. So
right.
I'm sure he'll get mentioned though, at the very least in the 3rd one. So I love those movies. Oh my god. He is in Interstellar as well. He is in Kingsman: The Secret Service as well. So it's like I've seen that. So it's like newer stuff I've seen a lot of. It's just older stuff that I just have not gotten around to. He has a cameo in Dunkirk, which is what we're reviewing on Gold Standard for Patreon next month. So
nice.
Yeah. So he's been in a number of Christopher Nolan films, actually. So oh my goodness. But he has as of October 2023, he has retired. So he announced his retirement from acting on BBC Radio, and I mean, at the time he was 90. So he was 90 then. He's 92 now. So he's like, I'm pretty good. And the last major thing he did, which was The Great Escaper, got pretty good reviews. So he's like, hey, I'm going out on top. So I'm good. So he's happily in retirement now. So does that mean that he is going to not necessarily pop up maybe in a voice role? Is always a possibility. He's also done some not just like voiceover for like cartoons and stuff, but he's done like narrations for documentaries and stuff like that. So it doesn't mean that he's just not working and looking for leading roles and stuff that's going to take a lot of time and that sort of thing. So but he is he's a legend. It's what he is. I mean, he is I mean, his Cockney accent, which is legit, is likely, if Dick Van Dyke could have replicated this in Mary Poppins, it probably would not have gotten made fun of as much as it does. To be honest with you. So, this is a real Cockney accent. Not what Dick Van Dyke attempts in Mary Poppins, but you know what? I don't care. I love Dick Van Dyke. God love him. So the man is almost 100 years old. I am not, and Mary Poppins is fantastic, so I'm not gonna bash that. So, but it is still kind of funny. But just Cockney accents in general, people like to make fun of because it's considered a lower class accent. It's considered more blue collar as opposed to like the Queen's English, which is supposed to be very, very sophisticated. Although I'm sounding a bit less like the Queen and maybe a bit more Dame Maggie there. That's okay. Bit more anyway, I don't do accents well. But yeah, he's been referenced, he's been parodied, he's made fun of himself, other people have poked fun at some of his characters, and some of the things. So but yeah, it's like I said, he pops up in interesting places. He started a British Airways pre-flight safety video in 2018 along with Olivia Colman. So it was in part it was partially for British Airways and to help promote their partnership with Comic Relief. So
that's cool.
So yeah. He still lives in the UK. He bounces between Chelsea Harbour and Wimbledon. Because of course he lives near Wimbledon. So So he's apparently he's also got an apartment in Miami Beach. Why not? You get sick of the rain in England after a while. You want to see some sunshine. Miami, why not? His life and career is so prolific that he has 3 autobiographies / memoirs. The first, What's It All About, was published in 1992. Then The Elephant to Hollywood in 2010. And then Blowing the Bloody Doors Off and Other Lessons in Life in 2018. He has been married twice. His first wife, Patricia, he was only married for 4 years. They did have a daughter named Dominique. Throughout his life, he has dated such stars as Nancy Sinatra, Natalie Wood, Bianca Jagger. His second wife, he's been married to since 1973. Apparently he saw her in a Maxwell House coffee commercial and just had to get her number. And he knew somebody knew her and gave him her number, and they've been together ever since. So, and they also have a daughter named Natasha. He's worked in so many things and done so many things, so he's crossed paths with all sorts of people. He was friends with John Lennon for a while there. Friends with Sean Connery and Roger Moore. He legally changed his name to Michael Caine in 2016 to make legal paperwork easier.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Because people would recognize him as Michael Caine, but then all of his government documentation had his actual legal name on it. It all said Maurice Joseph McLean. People are like, who the hell is that? You're Michael Caine. So he took until 2016 to do it, though. That's funny. Mostly because he kept getting stopped by security when going through the airport. Apparently he is a huge fan of chill out music, which is popular music characterized by slow tempos and relaxed moods. What we might refer to as easy listening.
Okay.
So originally it was referred to as ambient house, but that since it's become its own thing.
Yeah.
So I guess anything you listen to that just makes you feel not get up and dance, but just kind of chill. So if you're like me and sometimes you need some background noise and you go to YouTube and Lo-Fi Girl.
Right, yeah.
And some of those others would probably qualify as that. So lo-fi is kind of its tech, some people might say that it's its own thing. But I think it's part of the same tree, just a different branch.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's also chill wave, which you can also listen to on YouTube, which does have a slightly different vibe to it, but it's still it makes for very good background music, stuff that you don't have to actively listen to, but it's there. And just gives you some white noise that isn't like your stereotypical white noise. So, which, you know what? I ain't mad about it. I listen to it. I listen to lo-fi and other stuff like that quite often. So, you go boo boo. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. In fact, apparently he made his own compilation CD called Caned. Came out in 2007.
Nice.
Apparently he was chatting with Elton John, and of course we're discussing music, and Kane told Elton John that he'd been creating chill out mixtapes on his own for quite a while.
Well, I like the phrase. He was just chatting with him, like
yes,
just chatting.
yes.
Like I wish I could do that.
Having a small discussion with Sir Elton John. They're both sirs.
True.
So the ska pop band Madness has a song called Michael Caine, for which he supplied some vocal samples.
Oh, nice.
Apparently he used to smoke like a chimney until he got a lecture from Tony Curtis. He's a supporter of the Chelsea Football Club. He's also a fan of cricket. Apparently, along with his memoirs, he's written some trivia books, including Not Many People Know That, and Not Many People Know This Either. Michael Caine's Moving Picture Show, and Not a Lot of People Know This, 1988.
Track those down.
He, in the late 70s, he became part owner of Langen's Brasserie, which is a restaurant in Mayfair. It was a partnership between him and Peter Langen. So that's cool. Still open and operating.
Ooh.
Right there on Stratton Street in Westminster in London. So what kind of food does it serve? It just says restaurant. What kind of, is it like hoity-toity type food, or what kind of food is it? So let's see here. Apparently it is French inspired.
Interesting.
He wanted to bring a little bit of Paris to the people of London. So, and apparently the menu has not really changed since it opened in the 70s. So, and apparently in the 80s was a place to hang out if you were famous, and not just famous in Britain. Peter Langen died in 1988. But they kept the name, and I guess Kane's share got bought out by the people that took over Langen's shares. So, but that's cool. That is cool. So, yeah, Michael Caine. Pretty awesome. He's a pretty cool dude. I hope he's enjoying his retirement. He deserves it.
Yes.
Oh, and like I said, his CV is just so long. So long. So, I guess he also has published a fiction novel, a thriller called Deadly Game, that was published in 2023. So apparently he was like, I'm retired. By the way, here's my new book. So yeah, that's we could probably spend 5 bazillion years if we had seen more of his work. Like I said, the new stuff, like from Muppet Christmas Carol forward, I've seen a number. It's the ones that are before that I haven't necessarily seen, other than the Italian Job, which is, again, not a bad place to start if you want to start with his body of work. So that is pretty cool. So, pardon me. So excited. Gave me the hiccups. So, unfortunately, as television is concerned, pretty much everything he's done has been all like British productions. So, it's BBC Sunday Night Theatre. It is Armchair Theatre. ITV Play of the Week. Of course, Hamlet, like you do. So not a whole lot as far as television on this side of the pond. So, but that's okay. Plenty of film. Plenty of film. So, all right. Well, let's see who we're going to get to pair up with Mr. Kane. Is it going to be another Brit? Male? Female? Okay, then. It's got sound applause. It claps when it lands on its thing. So, okay. I love this person too. Another Brit. Not as old. He's only 70. That's really funny. We're just at Michael Caine. Michael Caine's birthday is the day before my mom's. This person, their birthday is the day after my dad's.
Man, serendipity.
I know. So yeah, another Brit, another English actor, both serious and comedic, is from born in Consett County, Durham, England, or known as just Durham. The youngest of 4 boys. His father was a farmer and on a executive board of some organization. It does not specify what kind of company it was. It could have been a nonprofit. It could have been the government. It does not say. And then his mother presumably was just a housewife, because there is no sort of, description of jobs she may have held. So presumably just a housewife. 3 older brothers. His oldest brother actually died as an infant. He has another brother, presumably his second oldest brother, is a economist and tried to be a politician, but lost an election. And then does not say what his last brother does. Went to prep school. Which is he and his brother, one of his older, he and 2 of his other brothers went to school with future Prime Minister Tony Blair at the Durham Cloisters. Got top grades on his science A-levels. Went to Newcastle University, where he received a degree in electrical and electronic engineering. Started on PhD study at Queen's College, Oxford, before he switched to acting full-time. Although he did graduate with a degree in electrical engineering, and was made an honorary fellow of said college in 2006. His master's thesis, which was published in 1978, is considered the application considered the application of self-tuning control. Okay, then. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what that means, but okay. So, started off, of course, this is, the UK, so combination of radio and television. But he has done quite a bit and has worked alongside some very, very famous people in some very interesting ways. Some of which are some of my other favorite people ever. So,
why am I?
And of course, he's also done theater. As you do. Let's see here. Oh, that's funny. He has done a production of Oliver. So this would be the musical version of Oliver Twist. He played Fagin, and actually in a production, another adaptation of The Tale of Oliver Twist, not the musical version, but an adaptation called Twist. Sir Michael Caine actually has played Fagin. This is very weird the way these things are matching up. So, so yeah.
Is it Rowan Atkinson? Yeah.
Atkinson? If you can spit it out, yes, you would be correct.
Nicely done.
My tongue just stopped working.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson.
Good old Mr. Bean.
Good old Mr. Bean, among other things. So, yeah.
Blackadder. Yep.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. I love Blackadder. But yeah, he's done mostly comedy. That is his thing. He is a very comedic actor. He has it's a combination of physical, but also very good at, because he can do the dry, like deadpan British humor as well. If you have not seen his stage, like kind of stand up, but not really, special that I think is from like the 90s, maybe like late 90s, early 2000s, I think. You can find the whole thing on YouTube. If I can, I'll find it. You can find it on YouTube. I'll try to find the best quality version of it on YouTube and put it in the show notes. But he has a special that he did several years ago, and he does a number of sketches, some of which are talking, some of which are speaking sketches. It's pretty much just him. There's like one other guy that makes an appearance every now and then when he needs a second person for a sketch. But it is some of the funniest, and some of it he's actually reprised. He actually brought back being Satan, his version of Satan, welcoming people to hell, going over the guest list and who gets to go where in hell. So among the other sketches, it's funny. Oh my God. It's one of those that I can just go and watch it, and if I need a laugh, and I know I'm gonna laugh. But yeah, he did Blackadder, which itself is I don't know how it's
a comedy that's
it's
historical.
a comedy series. There's four series, but each one takes place in a different era. It's all the same.
Correct.
It's a lot of the same actors.
Right.
Rowan plays somewhat. Essentially, I think the way it's supposed to go is if you want to try and connect them, he plays a descendant in the Blackadder family.
Correct.
And it's different iterations of this family Blackadder, and he just plays different descendants in different eras.
And
so
Hugh Laurie guest starred in it too.
Exactly. Yeah. So but it's like a half a dozen half-hour episodes, each set in a different period of British history. The first one, Blackadder, came out in 1983, set in the fictional reign of Richard IV. Blackadder 2 is set during the reign of Elizabeth I. Blackadder the Third is set in the late 18th and early 19th centuries during the reign of George III, and Blackadder Goes Forth is set in 1917 in the trenches of the Great War, aka World War One. But yeah, Edmund Blackadder. Each one is a descendant of the previous one. But yeah, his character, Edmund, not that smart. He usually has a servant, Baldric, played by Anthony Robinson, who has is one of those character actors where it's like, oh, it's that guy, because he just, and just kind of pops up every now and then, and it's like, hey, it's that guy. He Baldric is actually fairly smart, but he can't make his master look stupid, so he has to keep it to himself. And if he has any good ideas, tries to make him out, Blackadder think that he thought of it, that sort of thing. Or at least that's the way early on in the first season. As it goes on, Blackadder gets a little smarter. Still not quite a genius, but smarter. So I guess with time comes wisdom in the Blackadder genetic line. But yeah, it's also usually surrounded by people who aren't necessarily the brightest bulbs in the box either. Either because they are not that smart, or just they have character traits that just don't gel well with Blackadders. But yeah, but you will see very recognizable faces, not just Rowan Atkinson, but yes, Hugh Laurie appears in it quite a bit. Stephen Fry, Miranda Richardson. So it's kind of it's a bit of a who's who. But there are 4 series of 6 half-hour episodes. And then there are 4 specials. So yeah, because there is Blackadder: The Cavalier Years, and Blackadder's Christmas Carol. As Christmas approaches, Ebenezer Blackadder gets a surprising meeting with the ghost of Christmas present, and then Blackadder back and forth. So yeah. And the character Blackadder has popped up in other places. So just like Rowan himself does every now and then, not just as Blackadder, but sometimes Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bain made his debut New Year's Day 1990 in a half-hour special for television. And very the thing of Mr. Bean is this is one of his characters where it is very much physical humor, because Mr. Bean does not really talk. He does a lot of grunting, a lot of vocalization, but doesn't really speak. He's very much a man-child in kind of that childlike doesn't have the wisdom that comes with being an adult, even though he's obviously a grown man. Kind of like Pee-wee, if Pee-wee and like Buster Keaton had a baby.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. That would be Mr. Bean. So,
yep.
And Mr. Bean has just like, I mean, Mr. Bean's had, his own series, films,
his own movie.
Yeah, he just pops up in all sorts of places. So even Mr. Bean, the character appears in Rowan's special as well. So he made he also has done his own spoof of James Bond with Johnny English. The Johnny English films, Johnny English Reborn, and Johnny English Strikes Again, which I have the theme to the first Johnny English film, because much like James Bond, each film has to have a kick-ass theme song as it does, and the theme song, Man for All Seasons, written by Hans Zimmer and sung by Robbie Williams, it slaps. So yeah, I have that on regular rotation. And of course, depending on how you want to, if you consider this canon or not, he is also an incarnation of the Doctor.
Yes, Curse of the Fatal Death.
Yep.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yes,
I was being a good girl and not jumping the gun.
Yeah, done in 1999 for Comic Relief. This is back during the Wilderness years.
Yes.
When nobody thought that Doctor Who was ever going to come back for anything. So written by Stephen Moffat. You have several different versions of the Doctor, played by Rowan Atkinson, Richard E. Grant, Jim Broadbent, Hugh Grant, and Joanna Lumley. So Joanna Lumley, actually the first female Doctor. With a companion, Emma, played by Julia Sawalha. With a special appearance by Jonathan Pryce as the Master. So yes, it was a Red Nose Day bit done by Stephen Moffat back when we thought that Doctor Who was never going to come back ever again. So at the time we were like, not we, because I wasn't a fan yet. I didn't know what Doctor Who was, but at the time, Doctor Who fans were like, we'll take what we can get. Of course, Doctor Who and Red Nose Day have gone kind of together like peanut butter and jelly ish.
Yep.
Maybe more like peanut butter on a cracker. For a very long time, even before this. Doctor Who and Charity, whether it's Red Nose Day or Blue Peter, and other things like that the BBC does to raise money for children and children's charities throughout since Doctor Who has been around almost. So because like Colin Baker's doctor has made appearance in a Blue Peter special, I think.
I think that sounds right.
I believe that's right. So yeah, and obviously we knew who quite a bit with Red Nose Day and stuff as well, and Children in Need. We had Time Crash with David and his future father-in-law for Red Nose Day special. So yeah. So that's good. So that is fun. Yeah. And then all sorts of it appears on all sorts of things. There's a special of Top Gear called Star in a Reasonably Priced Car.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Where he drove a Kia in minute 42, beating Tom Cruise, whose time was a minute 44. So Mr. Bean, or maybe a close relative of Mr. Bean, made an appearance during the 2012 Summer Olympics opening ceremony, playing the synthesizer in the orchestra while they playing Chariots of Fire. He just played the one note, the da 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 da. It has a dream sequence, essentially the running on the beach bit from the film Chariots of Fire, which we have also reviewed on Gold Standard. I wish I could get that time back. So you know, as time has gone on, Mr. Bean doesn't make as many appearances, just because as Rowan gets older, doing the physical part of it is getting a little harder. Fair enough. He does pop up every now and then, though. Mr. Bean has been in a Snickers commercial. Red Nose Day special. So his YouTube channel was awarded YouTube's Diamond Play button in 2018 for his channel surpassing 10 million subscribers.
Wow.
It is one of the most watched channels in the world, which is saying a lot considering, like, granted, this was 2018. I don't think Mr. Beast was quite as big then as he is now. I'm sure people like Mr. Beast have surpassed that quite a bit since then, but still, that's pretty impressive. So, Mr. Bean has had is also his own animated series, a couple actually. So, and yeah, like, he just pops up, whether it's as Mr. Bean or something else. You know, he's a vicar in Four Weddings and a Funeral. Also, he's the voice of Zazu in the animated version of The Lion King. You know, and he has he's appeared in Love Actually as a salesman. And then also essentially reprises that character in a Red Nose Day sketch for selling red noses at whatever the pharmacy chain is there in England. Here it'd be like CVS or Walgreens, but whatever pharmacy chain. There he reprises essentially the same role and goes way over the top, gift wrapping a red nose for a kid. So oh my goodness. So
And you don't try to rush him because he takes his time even more.
Yes, very much so. Of course, theater. Like I said, he was in a revival of Oliver, playing Fagin. So, and, yeah, I mean, he's still at it. He's one of those character. I mean, he's not even really a character actor because he's so good.
Right.
Like when he pops up, you're like, ah, yay! Suddenly it's like, oh, this is going to be fantastic.
What's the cast gremlin going to get into trouble with?
Yeah. So he, his first wife, he met in the late 80s. They married in 1990. They had 2 kids. And that marriage ended in 2014, and after he met the woman who would be his second wife or partner, I guess, because I don't think they've actually legally married. And they were both in relationships. He was married. She was in a relationship with someone, and they both left their respective partners to be together. And they've had 1 child together. So hey, look at you, Rowan Atkinson, ladies man. Not quite the dating CV of Michael Caine, but you go, Johnny English. So he, beyond just having a regular driver's license, which I'm sure he has, he also has a lorry driving license, which is essentially a designation for things like transport, freight trucks, things like dump trucks and other type, like more commercial type vehicles, usually moving stuff and not people, because he said lorries held a fascination for him, and he also wanted to make sure as a young actor he could still get employment, and he thought that having that additional designation on his driver's license would help him get a job if the acting thing didn't play out. So hey,
hey, more power to you.
Not? Of course he does drive actual cars, not just the celebrity in a normal car type of driving. He has raced a number of times in various vehicles. He owned a McLaren F1, which is a very, very, very sporty vehicle. Really used just for Formula One. That is not a street vehicle unless you're showing off.
It's a vroom vroom vroom.
That
vroom,
is
vroom,
a
vroom.
race car.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
because as soon as you said McLaren, like, what's he doing with the race car vehicle?
yeah, especially the F1. Yeah. So, yeah, it was the, I mean, it is road legal. It's the last road legal series produced sports car to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So if that tells you anything, so unfortunately that car has been in a couple of accidents. over the years that he owned it. So it was in an accident. He got it in 97. It was in an accident in 1999, and then an accident again in 2011. This time when it caught fire because it hit a tree. Took over a year to be repaired. So now he doesn't own it anymore. But yeah. But yeah, he's crashed a few times while driving fast cars. So he said the one car he said he will never own is a Porsche. He said, I have a problem with Porsches. They're wonderful cars, but I know I can never live with one. Somehow, the typical Porsche people, and I wish them no ill, are not, I feel, my kind of people. So so yeah, his things are cars. Yeah, comedy and cars. That's kind of his thing. So, but yeah, he's still at it. Like I said, he's only 70, so comparatively. So, and yeah, I think the last time I saw him anywhere, I don't think he really looks 70 necessarily. So, I'm sure all the exercise, all the Mr. Bean stuff has kept him limber. I'm sure that probably helps to a point. So, but yeah, that's just Rowan Atkinson. So I love him. So Mr. Bean is hilarious. So, but yeah, also Blackadder is just, I feel like, if you've seen Blackadder is one of those things where it's like, if you've seen it, you get it. And you probably find it funny. But if you don't know it, you're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? So yeah, if you have not seen Blackadder, of course, go on YouTube, you can find clips from the various series. So I have not watched it properly in a while, so I'm not entirely sure. Supposedly it is on Hulu.
It's on BritBox, I know that
and
much.
It's on BritBox. And of course you got Amazon Prime. I think you can get it there too. Apple TV. So I think right now looks like only like there is like a episode available on Pluto TV. That's about it. So, but yeah. So yeah, it's there's places you can watch it. And like I said, I will try to find the best version of his special and put a link to it in the show notes. So it has been a hot minute since I watched it for the bazillionth time. I'm sure I have it favorited, but I couldn't tell you if that's like the best quality one. That's just the first one I found where it was complete. And I'm like, yes, that's fine. I will watch this. I don't care because I know this thing pretty much forwards and backwards. So like a number of other things. So yeah. Well, I think that's where we're gonna call it. I think those two guys with pretty good resumes is a pretty good way to do things this time around.
And once again, the interlap. It's
I know
like
that is so
new.
I mean, the fact that they've both played the same role in an adaptation of something of one of Charles Dickens' most well-known stories, probably not that surprising. I mean, as far as Dickens is concerned, I mean, with especially with Oliver, I mean, the story is about an orphan, so it's like your lead is a kid.
Right.
And there's only so many adult roles to go around. So you're going to have actors of a certain age that are going to be the right age range for Fagin. They need, in Rowan Atkinson's case, he can sing well enough. Michael Caine, he doesn't, he does well enough in Muppet Christmas Carol. But obviously he did not do Oliver when he played Fagin. He did not do the musical version. So, but still, when you think of Oliver Twist, it's Oliver and Fagin. Those are like the two characters. It's like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, so it doesn't that doesn't necessarily surprise me, but the fact that both of them have their birthdays within a day of each one of my parents, that is very weird. That is very, very weird. I mean, that's something that would only be noticeable by me, because that wouldn't mean jack squat to anybody else. But yeah, any final thoughts on either of these guys? Well, if any of our listeners want to give their thoughts on Michael Caine, Rowan Atkinson, stuff they've been in, maybe tell us your favorite roles that either or both have done throughout their careers. You can send us feedback. You can email us fivishfangirls@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is thefivishfangirls.com, where you can find links to all of our podcast related social media accounts and our individual ones as well, along with links to ways to financially support us, either on Patreon or merch on Redbubble for now. Still thinking of moving to another platform. I just got to find the time to do all that, because I know it's not just going to be an easy click type thing. It's going to require some work. So we'll leave the Redbubble up in the interim. I won't shut that off or anything for now. And also the book club. So, but by the time we come back, next episode we'll be in a new month, so we'll have a book club update for you. So we'll but of course, book club always open 24/7 on Goodreads, so you can jump in there anytime you want. Oh, and really all we can just say is thank you for all of your support and your understanding with episodes not happening like we intend. As I posted on social media to bastardize a quote from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, life finds a way to be a pain in the ass sometimes. So it is what it is. And that's all there is to it. But you know what? As I said on Gold Standard, as we were doing our shameless self-promotion for this month's Patreon episode, we've got over 500 episodes. So if we happen to miss a week every now and then, you're not hard up for content.
Right.
Just saying. And a lot of it is evergreen. So pick something. And go for it. But for now, ladies and gerbils, Who hasn't heard that in a while? Funny like Rowan. I am not, but that's okay. We shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bango saying good night.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I mean, Mr. Bean doesn't talk, so I can't really quote Mr. Bean for anything. So just imagine me making a very Mr. Bean-esque face. In your brain. You're welcome. Thank you, our Fiveish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefiveishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FiveishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.